a nice little topic to jump into now.
I think people will disagree with these, but we're going into top 10 youngsters in the Premier League.
Yes, I think it's also quite a hard one to judge, and obviously it's our opinion anyway, so I don't actually care what any of you think. But it's hard to judge it. I was speaking to Liam before, and I was saying, like, do we go off how they've been this season? Do you go off how they've been in their career so far? Do you go off how good you think they could be because they're under 21? My list, I've kind of gone off right now in terms of if they've had a very good season, I'm ranking them higher than someone that, for example, might have been brilliant last year but not been quite at it this year. Or it's a bit of a mixture.
Yeah,
that's made
mine's
me
a bit of a
way.
mixture. I've gone like a bit like their ceiling is a lot better than this guy's, but then I've also gotten off that if the performance this season has been that good, then
you've got to rank them higher, haven't you?
Yeah, there is one in here that I'll have to justify because he's dead high up, and I'll have to justify why.
Okay.
But yeah. So how do you want to do it? Do you want to read your 10, my 10, or do you want to use your full list, then my full list?
Let's do full list and then go into it.
Okay.
I'll do my full list. So what I would say is I found some of these difficult to rank just because I don't think there's an awful lot in it for some of these players. But we'll see. I've just realised I'm missing someone out of here where I've written it. Oh my goodness, where I've written it twice. So let's just rectify that.
Not doing another Luke Shaw moment where you put him in and he's not supposed to.
No, it's not quite. I've wrote more than 10 names and I've missed one out that I meant to swap. So let's just fix that. And let's put him there. Okay, so that works. So, are you ready?
There's one in mind that I was like, I didn't realise he was 21. But yeah.
Some of these I was surprised at the names, to be fair. So yeah, youngster, by the way, we've gone 21 and under.
Yeah, 21 and under, yeah.
Number 10, I've got Lewis Hall. Number 9, Levi Colwill. Number 8, Harvey Elliott. 7, Jared Branthwaite. 6, Rico Lewis. 5, Hoyland. 4, Evan Ferguson. 3, Garnacho. 2, Kobbie Mainoo. 1, Cole Palmer. I've left a few big ones out of there, I think, but they've either not played this season or I thought they've been terrible. So I don't know if you'll know which ones I've missed out. But
wow. So can you just say your list again, just so I can...
10, Lewis Hall.
Yeah.
9, Levi Colwill. 8, Harvey Elliott. 7, Jared Branthwaite. 6th, Rico Lewis. 5, Rasmus Højlund. 4, Evan Ferguson. 3, Garnacho. 2, Kobbie Mainoo. 1, Cole Palmer.
I think you might have missed one out, whether you like...
There's a few that are that have had big moves, and that they don't get in this list for me.
Right
now.
So my list is over there, so I'll forget it.
Oh, you've not got it on your phone?
I'll say mine, and then we'll go through
Got
yours.
2 laptops on the go.
Yeah.
He's a tech mogul.
Actually, do you want to just... Yeah, I would say mine. So my 10th is Adogi.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't in yours, was he?
No.
I didn't realise he was 21.
Neither did I, but I'm not too gutted about missing him out, to be honest. But he is good. He is a good player.
Right, so I've got Adogi, then I've got Connor Bradley.
Yeah, he just missed out for me.
Then I've got Colwill.
Yeah.
Colwill. Then I've got Branthwaite. Then I've got Harvey Elliott. Then I've got Højlund. Then Mainoo, Garnacho, Palmer, Doku.
Fucking that stinks. I can't even put him in the top 10 after how shit he was yesterday.
Nah, come on.
This guy is at... I'll come out and say it now, and this will make me look stupid on camera in years to come. This guy's had our pants down from one good performance this year, hasn't he? He had a game where he scored 4 goals or something. I've not seen him play well since. He's got a lot of ability, and I think he'll be up there. And
that's why I've put him.
There's almost definitely clips of me on the pod saying how good he looked, but he has fell off the face of the earth ever since those games.
Do you know why I've put Doku there? Right, I've put Doku there because when I started making this list of youngsters, like 21 and under in the list, I think Doku on ability was so far ahead of these. I didn't even consider him this young.
I didn't know. I would have said maybe he was 21. I didn't know he was younger than that. If he is younger than that,
he's 21.
But yeah, I'm not. I
think
agree,
if he's
but
in
I think
Liverpool's team, I think he's getting the numbers. You know,
I think it's very hard to judge somebody like that who's playing for City, and he'd had a few standout games early in the year. That one to note where I just said where he scored like 4 goals, whatever it was. But I don't know. Like for me, if you're coming in with half decent ability in that team, you're gonna perform, and it's a harder one to judge for me. Like he didn't even come into my head. That's how lowly I'm thinking.
yeah, no, but he didn't come into my head. But that's because I think his ability is so much better.
No, I think to be honest, I probably thought he was older, but at the same time, I'm not. Obviously, over some of the people in my list, I've got Lewis Hall in there.
Yeah, I didn't put Lewis Hall in there.
I do rate very highly, but he's not had a great season. Lewis Miley, I didn't even put in.
Miley could be in here because he's only 17.
Connor Bradley, I've not put in, which is maybe quite harsh. But some of the other players, like Colwill, started the season. I don't know if he's out injured for a bit or whatnot, but I feel like his levels
he's good,
at that point are going to be very high.
Yeah.
Harvey Elliott, again, tough for me to rank him. People probably won't like that he was quite low in mine, but at the same time, I've not seen as much of him as the ones I've put, ranked higher.
He's around middle in mine.
I think I'll say it now, and it'll be just because I'm a United fan that everybody will call it out, but Kobe Mainu is number 1 for ceiling for me out of all of them.
I think Garnacho's ceiling's higher than Mainu's.
I just disagree, just because I think in the position he plays, not that his ceiling's not higher, but it's a lot rarer to find somebody in his position than it is to find a shit-hot, tricky winger that's young.
This is why
it's hard to compare the two.
Yeah, this is why the ceiling's higher for Garnacho than Mainu for me. I'm yet to see Mainu ping 50-yard passes. He's only short passes.
No, but he can do everything that a midfielder needs to do. He
dictates a game. He does everything perfectly, all the simple stuff perfectly. I'm just waiting for that moment where he pings these balls because I haven't seen it yet.
I don't think he needs to in the system he's playing at the moment.
To be a midfielder, I think you've got to be able to do them passes.
But I don't think for his ceiling to be retrospectively higher than Garnacho's, even though the positions are different, I don't think that's 100% required. But Garnacho, well, I think the reason I've put him lower in my list is more because, like I say, tricky wingers come up for all teams. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he's very good, and I really rate him very highly. But I do think there's a lot more of them players around than a Kobe Mainu at 18 playing games at that ability. So I think I'll get hammered on my list. I had no Caicedo, no Romo Lavia.
Caicedo's not 21.
I thought it was 21.
No.
Has he just gone over it now?
Just gone over, yeah.
Lavia must be under that then.
Lavia thinks under it, yeah, but I didn't
kicked a ball all
you
season.
Can't put him in, can you?
But no, Caicedo was one that everybody was talking about, obviously, if he doesn't fit the criteria right now. But even so, I still wouldn't have put him in my top 10.
Yeah. There is honourable mentions. So last season in CISO, he's been injured this season.
Yeah, he looked very good.
Great.
But I think even Ferguson almost feels like he should be an honourable mention and not in the list because what has happened to this guy?
He's not in yours, is he?
Yeah.
He is in yours. Where did you put him?
High.
Yeah.
The Doku one I find very difficult because, like I say, he's clearly got great technical ability. I even remember saying on the pod how much I really rated him earlier in the season. But then I just feel like it's just what happens to you at City with Pep Guardiola. You get rotated.
Yeah.
You come back in. He looked terrible yesterday.
That's why I'm going off his ability, not just because he's at Pep's team.
But it's the point where I'm not even excited about him at all. And that might be just because he's a City player. But, I've got Rico Lewis in there in a respectable position. I just think...
Do you as well, like when England played Belgium, every time Doku got the ball on the wing, I shit myself.
I don't know. It doesn't give me that worry at all.
No.
No, I mean... I say earlier in the season I thought he was brilliant, and then it's almost like he'd moved out the Premier League. That's how much I forgot that he's even here. Like he just got sidelined, whether he got injured, whether he wasn't in favour.
Around our front four, our first four though, they're quite similar. So apart from Doku, at first I've got Palmer, Garnacho, Mainu. They're similar to yours, aren't they?
Palmer has to be number 1 for me based on how he's performed.
What
this
he's
season.
doing, yeah. He's basically, yeah.
Mainu gets so high, and people might disagree, but just because he's one of the younger ones on the list out of the 10 that I picked, and the level of games and opponents he's played against and the level of performance he's put in those games with so few performances to his name in his professional career at this level, I just feel like even though we've not seen a bucket load of world-class performances, because we've seen a few, that I think he still has to be so high up, because I feel like that's where you look at the ceiling a little bit with someone like him, because we've not actually got a lot of data.
No.
It's like, what I would say is people disagree with this, because this is what's been a lot of people been talking about at the minute. There seems to be this whole, it's Harvey Elliott versus Kobbie Mainoo. Or you could even throw Curtis Jones in there. I know he's older, but you know, the same, like, how are they not getting called up? And I know Jones is injured at the minute, but if it comes to it being like one spot and it's between them players, nobody can tell me, and this is nothing to do with United bias, because Liverpool are a massive club as well, that they've watched Harvey Elliott and the amount he's played as well, more than Kobbie Mainoo has.
Yeah.
And you've watched him and think he's influenced the game the amount that Kobbie Mainoo has. Yeah. And he's played loads games less. And that's not to disrespect Harvey Elliott, because I actually think he's great.
Yeah.
But to me, there's levels there.
Yeah, you can't.
You know, if he's going to just keep getting better and better, which you would expect at his age, because he's got a lot to learn and a lot more games to play and get more experience, I already think his level's higher already.
For me, though, Levi, like, if someone's actually questioning that and saying, well, Elliott's much better players than Mainoo and all this stuff, if someone's even questioning that, they don't watch football, or it's a Liverpool fan.
To me, it's also, they're not the same player either. You know? No. If they both go for England, it's more likely that for Southgate, they're for depth, because I don't think he'll have the balls to start Mainoo in the tournament.
I saw a lot of people commenting on a video, and it was saying, why hasn't Elliott been called up? And they threw like loads of stats in, right? And loads of, like, no comments were even agreeing, because it was over Mainoo. So it was exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, I've seen it's been a forced argument.
And then everyone went, because technically Harvey Elliott is more of a winger, and you've got Bowen, all this stuff, and they started reeling off names. So you're like, that kills that. And then if you bring him into the midfield argument, he's not a Mainoo player, because Mainoo can see it deep. Harvey Elliott can't.
Yeah.
So Mainoo's got bases. Yeah. So it just doesn't work. Like, you can't compare.
It's a bit like taking, for example, a Marcus Rashford, on a different note here, but for the same thing for England. If you take, so for example, I don't think there's a world now, despite the fact we did our video last week, where Gareth Southgate takes Kane, Tony, Watkins. I think he takes one. It was Kane and one other.
Yes, yeah.
Because I think it's more likely that you take Rashford, who can play on the left, and if you're really, really struggling, you got a shitload of injuries, through the middle. Yeah. He's not going to be great there, because we know he's better on the left.
Yeah, but even if he takes...
But you can't play Tony on the left.
No.
Watkins, you can try. I don't think he'll be great, but you can put Watkins on the left. But that's to the point where I think, you look at someone like Trippier, he can play right back and left back.
That's why he goes, yeah.
There's players like that.
That's why he got the nod over Trent sometimes.
Yeah, but then people are making the strength in another way, where you look at Bowen probably goes because you've got Saka at right wing.
Yeah.
And look,
no other.
Do you want to put Rashford there? Maybe you can put Palmer out wide. I don't know, but some of them get in because there's such little competition, and I actually think Henderson, Gallagher both go before Harvey Elliott. I think Curtis Jones goes before Harvey Elliott.
If he was fit. Yeah.
I think, but I do as well. But what we've seen from Mainoo in a United shirt this season, and for England in the 2 games he got given a chance, I
think he goes before them all.
I think he goes for me before Maddison.
Yeah.
Which people might disagree with, and I know they're completely different players, and let's be real, they both go. But in my head, he's the 3rd midfielder on the list.
And this isn't because we don't rate Elliott. So, like, all these, like,
no, this is more of an England argument as well.
Elliott's just made the top 10 in the league, and he was, like, around 5th, 6th place for me.
If he'd been banging him in all season and he was unplayable, or he was influencing games because that was his kind of style of play, I'd have him right up there. But Cole Palmer, what he's done for a Chelsea team that he's just joined, has to be number 1 this season. And then Garnacho scored some fantastic goals. Played nearly every game of Manchester United's season at that age, showing
probably
great
the best
skill.
Player.
Been one of the best outfield players. Then you look at, Mainoo coming in the games he played, Anfield away, City away, he's playing away at fucking Galatasaray in the Champions League. Tough places to go.
Yeah.
And just playing on the ball like he's been playing for 20 years.
Wasn't it that Everton away game, we watched it. It was Garnacho's overhead kick.
Yeah.
And I swear that was Mainu's first game after his injury. Because we all saw him in the pre-season.
Yeah,
and I think that was his first game.
Eric Ten Hag clearly wanted to play him as of last year.
Oh, yeah. And we all watched it and we was like, oh my God, this guy.
Yeah,
Well, no one even recognised it then.
But
people have only recognised it after the Liverpool game.
I think because there's such a hype now, you're in danger of it, because I don't want to build it up, but it's not like we have the platform to do that. But a lot of people that are in this realm that are making podcasts, making content, are talking about how good he is, which obviously puts a big shine on it. And then you get people like some of these Liverpool fans, they're not all Liverpool fans, but it's the most of the videos I've seen are, where they're like, oh, how this guy's got so overrated. United, a PR machine, and this guy's being overrated. You become in danger of getting overrated because it's all everyone's talking about.
Yeah, but in this day and age...
And it's a lot of pressure for him as well. But yeah, that's just the way it is.
It's social media now, you're going to. It's up to the player to keep his head on.
But I think he should... We said it last week. He starts for me for England.
Yeah.
Not everybody will agree. Some people don't even think he should go, so God knows. Maybe they don't watch football, but we went off at a tangent again.
There. Yeah. So there's your top 10
England's
if you can remember
exciting.
it.
Yeah.
So do you want to just read yours out?
Let's recap.
And then everyone can get more mad again.
I feel like people won't like mine, but we were going with it. Recap from 10 to 1. Lewis Hall, Levi Colwill. He's also, got my name, so has to be in.
Yeah.
Harvey Elliott, Jared Branthwaite, Rico Lewis, Hoyland, Evan Ferguson, Garnacho, Kobbie Mainoo, Palmer.
So I don't agree with Lewis Hall. I think there's better players than Lewis Hall there. But the Rico Lewis one, I didn't put him in mind because the Rico Lewis and Oscar Bob thing that City have got going on, I don't think how can we say they're the top 10 one of the top 10 youngsters in the Premier League when we don't see them.
I think Rico Lewis I've seen enough of.
I saw him against Arsenal.
Oscar Bob I've not seen a lot of.
I haven't seen enough of either of them, to be fair.
That would be a similar argument to what I'd say about Jeremy Doku, and he's almost an established player in the sense that he was bought in to do a job. He's not like a lot of these players are academy products. I know some of them are purchases.
He's only 21 still, though.
Yeah, but he's a purchase. It's like Hoyland's a purchase. You nearly don't put him in the list because he's been bought in.
Yeah. So I think the players that we've both left out that you could easily mention, obviously Enciso last season was great. Lewis Miley, just because of his age, is 17, is much younger than most of them.
He's been very impressive.
Yeah.
I could have had him over Lewis Hall, but
yeah.
Again, Lewis Hall I really, really thought was brilliant.
I thought he was good, at Chelsea. Yeah. You've also got, obviously, Oscar Bob, but we haven't seen enough of him. I threw Chukwuemeka in, because every time I see that guy, I think he's good.
Is he the guy at Chelsea?
Chelsea, yeah.
See, these guys...
But he's been injured most of the season.
They signed about 100 lads, and I don't know who any of them are, and I feel like I've not seen them either, so I can't even comment,
Yeah, I think he's great whenever he comes on. But there's some of the names that we've obviously missed out, but yeah.
Again, it's only off this season as well. I feel like you could reorder it. It's just my opinion. Obviously, some names elude you in the moment as well, but they're quite happy with it on the whole. I feel like we've got the bulk of them there, but...
Yeah, there might be some missed out, so let us know.
Yeah, let us know yours, or re-rank yours and tell us how bad ours is, and